Welcome back to The Explainer. So today, we're going to talk about this really cool tool called MCP2CLI, and it tackles this massive problem. A problem most of us probably don't even think about when we're using AI agents, but it's one that could be costing you a ton of money. You can kind of think of it like a universal translator, but for AI. It helps them get smarter, faster, and way cheaper to operate.
So, let me just kick this off with a question, and it's a bit of a bombshell. What if I told you that the very tools you give your AI agent to make it useful are secretly just eating up almost all of your budget?
I know, that sounds insane, right? But the folks behind mcp2cli did the math, and get this. Somewhere between 96 and 99%, 99% of the tokens and AI sends when it uses a tool, it's not even the important part. It's just overhead, useless, repetitive stuff. It's kind of like if you had to mail a 100-page legal document every single time you just wanted to send a one-sentence text message. All that waste costs money.
And that's what we're going to call the AI token tax. It's this hidden fee, It gets tacked onto every single thing your agent does, making every interaction bloated and slow and just bleeding your budget dry on stuff that gets sent again and again and again.
And this right here, this shows you exactly what I'm talking about. On the left, that's the old way. The AI agent basically has to send the entire instruction manual for all 40 of its tools every single time it wants to do one simple thing. But look at the right. That's with MCP2CLI. It's just the command. Clean, simple, to the point. The difference is just wow. It's night and day.
Okay, so the big question is, how do we get from that total mess on the left to that super efficient command on the right? Well, that's where this brilliant little tool comes in. It's a universal API wrapper, and it's called MCP2CLI.
So what is it really? Think of MCP2cli as a command line tool that's basically that universal translator we talked about. It can look at any standard API out there and just turn it into a simple set of commands you can type in a terminal. And here's the really slip part. It does this at runtime. That means you don't have to generate any code, you don't have to do any prep work, it just works instantly.
And this is what makes it so powerful. It's not some locked-in proprietary thing. Nope, it understands the big three API standards that you're going to see everywhere. It gets MCP, which is for agents talking to other agents. It gets OpenAPI, which is, the standard for pretty much every web API. And it even gets GraphQL. It can look at any of these, figure them out, and wrap them up for you.
All right, so how does this magic trick actually work? How does it take this complicated API spec and turn it into a dead simple shell command? Well, the process is actually way simpler than you might think. It's really elegant.
It's basically a little three-step dance. First, you just point it at a URL. That's it. Step 2, it goes out, reads everything it needs to know about that API, what it can do, what parameters it needs, and then step 3, boom, it dynamically creates a command line interface for you right on the spot. No compiling, no messing with config files, it just works.
And getting started? Seriously, it couldn't be easier. If you happen to be using UV, which is that super fast new Python package manager, it's literally one command. You type UV tool install MCP2CLI, hit enter, and you're off to the races.
So once you've got it installed, you can immediately start playing with it. Just point it at any public API. In this case, we're using the classic pet store example that everyone uses for testing. You just give it the URL to the spec, add that -list flag, and it'll spit out a perfect list of all the commands you now have at your fingertips.
And this is where the magic really happens. Calling one of those API functions is now no different than running a command you already know, like ls or grep. Here, we're creating a new pet, Fido, by just piping some JSON data straight into our new create pet command. So think about that. Any API in the world can become just another simple tool in your terminal.
But wait, there's more. MCP2cli isn't just a basic wrapper. It's got some serious superpowers built right in. Features that are designed to fix all those annoying little headaches you run into when you're dealing with APIs in the real world.
And just look at this stuff. It really solves a lot of common problems. You've got bake mode, which lets you save all your connection settings so you don't have to retype everything. It has built-in OAuth support, so it'll handle all that annoying token stuff for you, getting them, refreshing them, all of it. It knows how to handle secrets securely, pulling from environment variables instead of the command line where someone could see it. And this last one is so clever, it actually learns which tools you use most and ranks them higher, which, again, saves your LLM from wasting tokens.
Okay, but let's be real. No tool is perfect for everything, right? It's not a silver bullet. MC2CLI is absolutely fantastic for things like scripting, automation in your CI/CD pipeline, and of course, giving AI agents access to your APIs, but you should be aware of a couple of things.
When you're running it with local tools, there's a tiny bit of latency for each call because it has to start up. And also, every command is stateless. It doesn't remember what you did in the last command, so it's not great for things that need a continuous session.
All right, so let's zoom out a little bit. Because mk2cli isn't just some cool standalone utility. It's actually a really important piece of a much bigger, much more exciting puzzle that's being built for AI.
And that puzzle leads us to this idea of AI agent skills. Just think about it for a second. What if you could give an AI a new superpower, like the ability to search Google or read a PDF, with just a single command? Kind of like installing a new app on your phone. That's exactly what this is all about, creating a library of plug-and-play abilities for any AI.
And look how easy this makes it. To give your agent the power of mcp2cli, you just run this one line. That's it. npx skills add, and you're done. You have literally just taught your AI agent the skill of being able to talk to basically any API on the entire internet using that super efficient command line method we just saw.
So when you put it all together, here's the big takeaway. Tools like mcp2cli are completely changing the game. They're tearing down the barriers that made it so hard to give AI agents new abilities. Suddenly, any service, any database, any platform that has an API can instantly become a simple, ready-to-use skill for an AI. And that leaves us with a really exciting question to chew on. If it's this easy to turn anything into an AI skill, what's the next thing you're going to build?